Hey guys, welcome back to the show. High touch plus high tech multiplied by high trust is your winning factor for business. I'm Tim, he's Mike, and we're back to dig into high touch today.
Yeah.
Mike, when it comes to, if you got guys, if you landing on this episode, you're good. Listen to this episode, but we did one last week all about high tech and the good, bad, and ugly. And really dug into some things, teed up some things for future episodes. Today, we're back to talk about high touch and also the good, the bad, and the ugly. And when it comes to touch and the referral system, I think about like Bob Bergen, his book, The Go Giver, and his initial book, The Endless Referral System, and what he taught and trained on. I don't know of anybody who does it better. In fact, from our initial meeting, and then within like the same week, we were back in the same space because you were with a power group in Virginia Beach. And then you guys have been together for like 10 years. And like you guys, the referrals and the way that you've built your business. And Mike, you always say, you don't throw things, at the wall to try to like get 1 out of 200 to slide through a crack and like get somebody to use you. It's like the door's being flung open all the time because you're an invited guest to the table. So when it comes to high touch and that human side, that relationship, and you making somebody feel so seen and so special from like, bam, initial interaction, you're my guy. And so I'm excited to learn from you today. And when it comes to high touch, like what goes through your head just right away when you hear high touch? Because I think high touch, it's on the show, people see it on the show and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm high touch. Like what goes through your head when you think high touch? What does that mean?
Well, I think number one, it means systemized touch, right? Like, so this is like the right off the bat, being high touch in my world. So to kind of give you a little bit of background, I've never paid for an internet lead. Okay.
Come on.
I've never paid for a lead. Everything we've done pretty much has been repeat and referral. If I had to go back through our, looking at our business over the years, it's probably 98% repeat and referral. You get the occasional yard sign or open house lead or whatever else. But it kind of comes down to this idea of like, hey, it's first defining the fact that it's not working word of mouth. Working word of mouth and working by referral are two totally different things. And I was very fortunate because I've been through some tech advancement in my real estate career. I started in 2006. We literally, Tim, I was taught to press hard 3 copies. I was doing carbon copy stuff. People were still talking about how the internet was going to make real estate obsolete and everything was going to change. And I had a BlackBerry and a Palm Pilot and all those other kind of things. I'll never forget, I thought I was so high tech, by the way, because I got one of the very first IBM ThinkPads that the screen would rotate. Wow. And you could lay it down and you could actually write on it. It's like, I'm going to have people sign contracts on this thing. It was so clunky and terrible. And I think it might have weighed as much as an old TV did. It was like 75 pounds. But so I've been through that side of things a little bit. And we used to, when I made the decision to really concentrate on the relational side of the business versus the transactional side of the business, was really the first differentiator, right? Like, I talked to agents and I try to figure out what is your ideal lead generation strategy, because that's going to really kind of determine the tech and the offices and the environment that you need to be in. And so, because I think it's a massive mistake, by the way, that people make. Like they don't embrace the right tech tools given what your method of lead generation is. So the CRM that I use is going to be completely different than the CRM of someone who needs a bunch of automations and is run through Zillow leads all the time. Right. Because Zillow's never gotten a dime of my money. I'm going to say that a couple of times because I'm really proud of it. But it's we look at things on these on these two different axes. Are you working transactionally, where it's like I just got to churn and burn, and or are you working relationally? So to me, that comes down, I'd rather attract business from people that I know, like, and trust, and that know, like, and trust me, who refer me, where I have good people who refer me to other good people, and I don't work with as many jerks. I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. The quality of life I go to, we go to a friend's house because they're having a party for their kid, or who just, graduated 5th grade or whatever. I don't know. But you go in there and you're like, oh, like, I worked with that person. I worked with that person. I worked with that person.
Yep.
And you're just like you're making a serious impact on lives from that standpoint, and it's lasting, and people are coming back. And so that part of it's just really gratifying for me. And honestly, those referrals, people, those billboards, when you don't work word of mouth, but you work intentionally by relationship, and you've had the communications, and you've, as the great Larry Kendall, almost a Gary Keller, Larry Kendall, who is Ninja Selling, awesome book if you want to learn about how to work relationally. The two people you should check out, Larry Kendall with Ninja Selling, or Brian Buffini with Buffini and Company. And I've gone through both. Been a Buffini member since 2006.
Wow.
Is honestly like staying in flow with people, staying in touch, making the phone call. And you're not making sales calls. You're making calls to just know what's going on in their life.
Human connection. Yeah.
And then you're making sure that they understand how to recognize an opportunity to introduce you to someone that you can help. And they're happy to do it, because you're not like since you're not out there chasing business, and you're attracting other people, like, they're going to connect you just because it's what's best for that person who needs help.
Yep.
And it's predictable. I know some people don't think it is, but it is predictable. And our cost per lead's way down. And when someone's out there spending, $10,000 a month on a Zillow lead, I went and spent $3,000 on having 400 people out at the pumpkin patch. And, and that's just the difference right there. So
it sounds like, again, back to that, start with why. It sounds like you're very clear on your intention. You're very clear on your values. You're very clear on who you want to be. And it's so interesting, while the world changes so fast around us. I love the Jeff Bezos quote that says, I get asked a lot of times by business owners, business leaders, hey, what's going to change in 10 years? He said, what I don't get asked often, and is actually the better question, is what's not going to change in 10 years? And I'll tell you that with the U.S. Surgeon General for the last decade saying that we have a loneliness epidemic, and it's actually being amplified by technology and all the plug-in and all the social platforms, and now AI, and now how many people are turning to AI, how many young people are turning to AI because they have conflict avoidance, or because they don't like to open up to a human about their problems. So they've turned to an AI bot as a therapist or counselor, who, by the way, an AI bot has a higher emotional intelligence score than a human, but has a 0 empathy score, because you can't empathize. You can't empathize unless you've actually endured the pain yourself. And so if you can't experience empathy, then you don't really have connection, like heart connection, because a robot doesn't have a heart. And so what Mike's getting at here, guys, is you have to pick and define, who you're going to be and how you're going to show up. And I think that's where high touch for me comes into. I want to go deeper, faster than anybody else. And deeper, faster means that I open up, because to extend trust means, or to earn trust, you extend trust, and to earn vulnerability, you extend vulnerability. And somebody said, we impress with our strengths, we connect through our weaknesses. And so when you show up into a space very humanly, and you are all about high touch, I want to touch somebody's heart, then I think we actually see real estate less about making a transaction happen and getting a check. Somebody said customers send checks, but friends send fortunes. And I really believe this. The other thing you said, Mike, you don't have to work with jerks, is when a friend, somebody that trusts you and you've shown up for them consistently, refers you to another friend, that friend becomes your friend 10 times faster than when it's another cold lead that you're trying to churn and burn. You have to start all over with the trust equation. So I just think for me, high touch, it's everything you said, Mike. It's you're getting invited. You're getting invited, and it's about looking at going deeper, faster, without sacrificing to tech. Although we're completely about the addition of tech to the touch, but without sacrificing the touch to tech, because tech won't have that heart.
And that's exactly right. I mean, I think where we're competing on the high touch side is we are making a conscious effort to make that emotional connection, to understand relational intelligence, to understand the fact that, and this is really at the core of what a lot of my messaging comes down to understand that no matter who you're working with, it is the largest purchase that they ever make in their life. But for like 98% of the people, right? So for 98% of people, they're making the largest purchase they ever make in their life. So no matter what, whether that's the $2 million buyer or the $200,000 buyer, this is a major, major thing for them. And you are doing high stakes negotiations. And when you understand the fact that, especially right now, because the people who are moving in this current climate are really people who have to move, right? We know that. And so moving on its own is one of the 10 most stressful things that people ever do. But the ironic thing is that the other 9 things on that list are all reasons why people move. So you literally could be having someone who is going through 2 of the most stressful events in their life simultaneously while trying to make one of the most important financial decisions of their life. And there's also a huge, just like, emotional connection to where you live, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And if you don't have that empathy connection, it's really hard to serve someone at the level that you need to in order to generate that repeat and referral business effectively. But if you crack that code and you understand, and can approach that with that empathy, and you can make that person feel seen, and you can be their rock in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I mean, open up the doors.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the way that we sometimes get into this is we talk about the lifetime value of a client. Okay. So one person, let's just say, is going to move 4 times in their lifetime. Okay. You think that's probably pretty fair?
Yeah.
4 times, right?
Some more than
others.
Yeah.
But you're going to have the first time home buyer house that you're hopefully going to have, which is hopefully not completely going away. You're going to have that move up house into the first family house. And then the kids get a little older and you decide you want to have the basement where everyone wants to hang out. And then a lot of people move up into the more glamorous type house. You could be like Tim Hooper and go live on several hundred acres and all the other stuff. But the reality of it, and then they're going to downsize out of that, and then they're going to go to whatever their final house is.
Yeah.
But, $181,000 is kind of the accepted number of what the lifetime value of that client is to a real estate agent. Okay, so here it is. They buy the first house, $250,000. It's a $7,500 commission. I am not setting commission rates here. I'm just using a certain commission percentage that I'm not even going to tell you what that is. You can do the math yourself as an example here.
Yep.
But obviously commissions are all negotiable. Over 7 years, that house has 4% appreciation. I tell my clients when they're buying that first time home buyer house that I'm going to be the one that sells it. So let's think about everything we're going to have to overcome.
Yeah.
When we go sell that place. Do you know what that does to a first time home buyer, Tim? When you say,
"Hey, do?
When you're thinking about buying this, and I'm already thinking about what we're gonna have to overcome when we sell this. They understand that I'm making this decision I'm helping them make the decision so we both win.
Yeah.
Like, so they're not worried about me like, oh, he's just trying to make a quick dollar, quick commission or whatever else. Like, he understands that we got to negotiate right here and buy right.
You know what? Right. You know what that does in my heart right away? Like, because again, if I'm a first time home buyer, that like overcoming, selling, that might seem so far away. And it might be just a big, like in my brand, I'm like, I don't even think about that. But you know what you've done by doing that? You just earned the right to be high touch with me after this deal.
Yeah.
Because now I'm expecting you to show back up to talk about how things are going. And I'm expecting you now, you've basically you planted the seed for being high touch with me after this deal.
So then they sell that place after 4% appreciation. There's the other commission of $9,869. And then it just keeps on going. There's the family home. You see the buy and the sell of that size. And so we go through the whole four, all the way down to the round down size. They did a 30% decrease in house, but because of appreciation that's happened, your commissions are, and we're projecting out of what home values are going to do. So 8 transactions, loan client LTV is the way I did the math, was $186,000 for just their transactions. That's only if I get the repeat business, but I'm going to get the referral business. And even though only 9% of agents follow up with their clients after the deal, that is the national number. You're leaving all this business on the table because you're like, they're not going to buy right now. I don't need them to buy right now. I need them to understand. Because Tim, when's the last time you bought a car? As being the person who got to drive in my new car for the first time, you were the first person.
Yeah, it was beautiful, by the way.
No, thank you.
So yeah, and dude, that thing was slick, man. I won't tell which automotive manufacturer, but they wrote a great book called The Toyota Production System. But anyway, so
it's not a fancy car. So.
It's very nice. It's very nice. All electric. I mean, that was a sweet ride. Anyway, so May, actually, for my wife's birthday, she got a new upgrade. So yeah.
Okay, so when you all bought that car, did you automatically start to see that car everywhere else?
Everywhere. Oh yeah, everywhere.
So when I'm intentional with a new client, with someone while I'm working with them, up to a year after they work, they're talking about buying their new house. They're talking about with people who understand, like they're going to be naturally having those conversations with people who are like, oh, we're thinking about buying or selling. Like if they can recognize that, and then they can, and they know how to introduce us. Yeah, it's huge. And we just continue to reinforce that whole thing. And so I'm going through these slides real quick. If you're watching on video, but the reality of it is $181,000 is too low. $186,000 for my people is too low, because if I really understand the relational value and the professional value of what that's going to get us, we're looking at a lifetime value for our clients. If you work systematically, relationally, of the lifetime value of a client being over $400,000.
Yep.
And so lots of times the argument is that we're leaving money on the table. My argument is that we're just playing a long game versus a slow game.
Yeah, you mentioned something I want to come back to as we end. RI, relational intelligence.
Yeah.
So we have AI, we have all relational intelligence, understanding what they're going through and understanding why I'm in relationship with, why I will be in relationship, why they would want me to be in relationship with them. Understanding the relational intelligence. That's huge. That absolutely huge. And, I want to go back to just this thought. I wrote in my book, Got Energy, of it could be a career or it can be a calling. It could be a career or it can be a calling. And I think the one is, a career is like, man, I got to respond to those emails today. I have to. When it's a calling, when it's your divine, reason that you had another breath in your lung today and somebody didn't get the chance to live today, but you did, it's like, now I get to. It's like a career to a calling takes a have to a get to. In fact, I'm blessed to. So when people, here's the RI for me. When somebody shows up into my life just to deliver something to me, here's the contract, here's that, here's whatever, that's transactional. But when they show up into my life, almost jumping up and down excited, like my dog when I get home wants to freaking lick me in the face after running over all the 200 acres and smelling and eating everything else. And then, it's like when, and by the way, I've never gotten upset at my dog for wanting to lick me in the face. I just said, no, don't lick me in the face. But if you
don't lick your clients in the face,
excited,
don't do that.
I mean, get that close though. They should feel like you have that much excitement to be in relationship with them, to see them Zig Ziglar said for every deal he lost by being too enthusiastic, he won 99 more. So like, are you looking at this relationship with intelligence of what's going on, but jumping up and down that you get to help take pain out of their life, take stress out of their life, solve something for them. And you've clarified your process enough to know I'm going to be in relationship. And here's how we're going to do it. And Mike, to your point, man, dude, and I've bought a lot of real estate. I don't think anybody's ever planted a seed of like, hey, we want to protect this for when it goes to like begin with the end in mind. You've just literally said, I'm going to be in your life. I'm like a financial advisor. I'm a real estate advisor to you dude.
And then you know what else?
I was going to learn something today. Yeah.
Let me tell you what else that does. So, and this has actually popped up. We had one of our clients whose parent sold their house and they used the 1% company. Okay. And then they went and talked to my wife and they're like, they're like getting ready to sell their house. And he's like, my dad's really saying that we should just go use this 1% company or whatever else. And he's like, so my wife she does all of our listings now because I'm pretty much out of production. She goes through and talks about like, if that's an option you want to take, that's fine and whatever else. And doesn't like make them feel bad about it. Just restates our value proposition. He goes, when we paid you before and we pay you next, we get all of this value in between. You're there for the question about the taxes. You're there inviting us to the party. You're there celebrating our kid's birthday. You're there doing this. It's like, he's like, he almost had this light bulb moment where he understood. It's like, oh, I get it now. Like you get paid on the transaction, but it's almost like a deposit for everything else that's going to happen between now and the next move. And he's like, yeah, we're not going anywhere else. We're not even challenging your fee. We're paying you what you want. Because you've proven your value, not over the time of the transaction, but before, during, and after the deal, you've proven your value.
Yep.
And but here's the bad part about it, and then we'll kind of wrap up because I know we're long and I got long-winded because I do get passionate about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the reality of it is that the ugly part is that you are doing life with a lot of people, and you better have a way to have you seen the movie The Green Mile?
Yeah.
You know how the big guy takes in the bad stuff out of the people and then he's got to be able to release it. If you can't release it, and listen, like we do life with people. We're going to find out that someone's got a bad diagnosis before they've told their family. We're going to find out that someone's having a baby before they told their family. And I mean, I have been the guy who has been parked outside the house while someone is getting all their stuff so they can get out of an abusive relationship, and then been in the part of the process to build them up so that they can go by again and get their life started.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the hard part, because you better be ready to handle that kind of emotion that's going to be dumped on you, and you better have good outlets on how to be able to do that. But it's part of being in a relationship with people, right?
Be in a relationship. High touch. Listen, here's a question as we end. When you first interact with somebody, are you looking for opportunities based on what they're sharing? You're asking good questions and you're looking for opportunities to be in valuable relationship down the road, to be like looking for the opportunities based on what they're sharing, their life story, their dreams, their goals, their challenges. Are you looking for opportunities to be like, yep, there's one. Yep, there's one. I'm circling back on that one. Oh yeah, baby. Like, are you thinking that way? And that would be, I think, how we would challenge. If you want to be in high touch, think about be intentional about, I'm going to be in high touch and I'm going to look for and high value touch. We could even add that in there, but I'm going to look for ways to add value to the life outside of this transaction. And I promise you, your brain will fill in the blanks if you have that intention. So Mike, this has been good, man. You taught me a lot. You taught me a lot today. I'm glad I came to coffee this morning.
But even what you just said, like this is why you got to build out your list of business vendors. I literally had someone call me a couple of months ago asking because they couldn't get into to see a neurologist, and so they called their real estate agent to get them an appointment with a neurologist, which I did, and I nailed it and got it done, and got them seen as way quicker than they needed to be. So
we're going to talk referral partners very soon because it is the holidays and it is time to touch your referral partners, and you need to be building those. And that is the way to get invited into the party. So Mike, this has been good. Guys, take that. You heard something, it struck a chord. take this podcast, okay? You just grab the link right now and text it to 5 of your closest buddies, friends that you want to succeed in business. Just text it to them and say, hey, listen to this, and tell them specifically what's resonated with you. Use this with your team. Sales leaders, use this before your next team huddle. Share this out and get some conversation going about around your office, your sales team, about high touch and how you guys are going to intentionally build high touch outside the transaction.
And then be sure to join us on our live recording, December 13th. We're going to be so excited to have you guys there.
Bam.
If you have questions about anything we've talked about so far, you can either email us. The email's address is in the show notes, or you can be on that live call. We'll take those questions in real time and give you our answers. And I'm looking forward to just that connection with the audience.
Yeah, same here. Take care.
All right, guys.